And we are starting with lesson 298, the state of contemplation. Very mystical lesson. The force field of actinic consciousness is one which a guru has worked perhaps for many years to enter. His awareness of it is his control of it. This mechanism works in the same way a corporate executive guides the forces of his business through knowledge of the field and experience. A guru learns control of actinic force fields just as a businessman learns to control his odic force fields. The odic force and the actinic force make up this planet. The action and interaction of these two forces working together cause the life that we see on earth. Quite often in meditation, I see the planet as completely transparent. Just like a tremendous transparent, translucent sphere. It looks light, and it is floating in a clear space, a blue space. This space is called ākāśa. I am seeing the planet and the ākāśa, vibrantly seeing the collective odic and actinic forces working within and through it. Coming out of this state, one can see easily the way in which human beings are created. The woman holds the power of the odic force field. The man holds the power of the actinic force field. Between them, they cause a chemicalization that brings through the soul and the physical and emotional body of a newborn child. Depending upon this chemical balance, they give birth to an old soul or a young soul. That is why it is so important for families to have a deeply religious life. What is a religious life? It is the balance of these two forces, the odic force and the actinic force. It is so important that there is an absolute harmony between the man and the woman. This guides and governs the inner currents of the children till the age of 21. At that time, the inner forces dissolve from the family and are governed by their own superconscious mind. I have seen this all happen from the inside. It is a vast and beautiful picture. Of course, with vast populations now covering the planet, it is happening more than ever. More births, more deaths, more forces to contend with. At this time in the evolution of this planet, the actinic forces are breaking through the odic force fields due to the planetary configurations, making this an actinic age, an age of light and great illumination, an age of contemplation. The state of contemplation is not just peacefully sitting and getting all jazzed up on the inside. It is as refined an activity as penetrating subtle thoughts and feelings on the superconscious plane until all intellectual structure dissolves in the atom's essence within superconsciousness. If you have ever had the experience of tracing a vibration of consciousness to the point where consciousness is no more, you will know how subtle is the fiber of an actinic ray. Explosion of light, so commonly associated with the contemplative state, is only the first breakthrough. After this, an aspirant is ready to begin the study which will give him the mastery of these subtle forces. Striving in meditation for a continuing contemplative awareness, a strong actinic vehicle is built. The aura of a person who has created access to the inner world gives evidence of a higher energy source. This is what is behind the ancient myths wherein the gods rode through the skies in golden chariots. The golden chariot is the actinic vehicle of the superconscious. A Satguru must be able to control his travel on more than one actinic ray. In doing so, he is able to establish a continuity of contact in the deeper consciousness within his various disciples. It is on an actinic ray that intuitive knowledge is gained and passed along. At first, the odic forces seem warm and friendly, and the actinic force registers more as an emptiness or nothingness existing inside of you. But if you can find out what and where this nothingness is, you will not have to think anymore about purging the subconscious, because the actinic flow will take over the outer mind and you will find yourself lifted in love, light, and perception. So we have some Shum words that relate to love, light, and perception here. The series starts with Ishum. Remember Ishum? A contented fish, aquatic animal. High Ishum, security, a feeling of security. Bihai Ishum, feeling of completeness and contentment under all circumstances, used as a greeting. Ibihai Ishum, the sadhana of bringing forth from oneself joy and happiness under all circumstances. Keyword, all. Great joy is found when this tantra is mastered. Then we get lesson 299, heightened sensitivity. People are worried about the world's coming to an end. Every now and then a religious sect proclaims the new coming of the end of the world. But although the earth as we know it continues its steady progress around the sun, the conscious mind for thousands of people has come to an end. For the simple reason that they are no longer interested in it. For them, the world of inner sounds and colors has opened its far more attractive fare. But the job of sustaining and maintaining expanded awareness is not accomplished by losing the controls over one's powers of awareness. The actinic world is only attained and sustained by initiating definite controls over the odic world. One state of consciousness is controlled in the process of awareness moving and expanding into another state. As we progress along the path, we become more and more sensitive. This sensitivity is a wonderful thing. It's like graduating from being an old battery-set radio of the 1920s and 30s to a sophisticated solid-state television. The sensitivity that you will begin to recognize is so refined and yet so strong. You communicate with yourself through the nerve currents which extend out, around, and through the physical body, physical nerve currents as well as psychic nerve currents. Before we get deeply within on the path, we're not too sensitive. But as this sensitivity develops, we begin to see through our hands, we begin to hear feeling, we begin to see sound, and all sorts of new faculties manifest. Now this can be very distressing because we see things that we ordinarily would not be able to see. Interesting point. We hear meaning in what people say that ordinarily we would not be aware of, and we can become very disappointed in life, in people, or in ourselves. This may seem like falling into a bog on the path, and we don't want to do this. We want to be sensitive, and yet we want protection, psychic protection. Our dreams become more well-defined, but we don't want to be vulnerable to negative areas of the mind, disruptive areas, experiential areas of the astral plane while we are sleeping. Neither do we wish to be attacked on the astral plane by the mischievous beings, entities that are on that particular side of life. We need this astral protection. We need this psychic protection. The group helps the individual, and the individual helps the group. The force field of a group of people on the path goes along at a certain rate of intensity, which is not broken, and this gives us tremendous psychic protection. In the very same way, a positive group of people only admit into their midst other positive people. A group of businessmen have a well-managed force field, and generally only a businessman of their same caliber can come and mix with them. A group of artists has a force field, and only artists of the same caliber can get into it. Why? If they let everybody in, they wouldn't have a force field. The businesses would fail. The art would go into chaos. Friendships would be destroyed because of other influences coming in and amongst the people. Force fields protect and sustain not only our outer forms of expression, but deep spiritual layers as well. When we go out into superconsciousness, if we are sensitive and unable to protect our subconscious mind, all sorts of other types of influences can enter. We don't want this to happen, and it's not necessary. It is a deterrent on the path, for we then are exposed to unseemly astral influences that detract us from our quest. So going out means you're in superconsciousness, but you're looking out, so you're seeing other beings. Make friends with those who are on the path. Be with fine, positive people. Don't be with negative, complaining people who have no relationship to what you are doing on the inside, or who are criticizing you for what you are doing. There's the old statement, one bad apple can turn the whole bushel rotten. Maybe that will be reversed in the New Age. A lot of things are changing in the New Age. Maybe at some time a whole bag of good apples will make a bad apple good. But so far, it hasn't occurred. Till such a time, we have to be wary of a natural law of nature and live among others of virtuous character and conduct, others who share spiritual insights and seeking. Then we get some shum. Vum sim sim, feeling, sharing positive energy with another. It is the sharing of an odic flow of energy with an individual or a group. Friendship, or the comfortable feeling one has when sharing with another. Sa vum sim sim, good feeling, a creative flow of mental energies between people. The feeling one has when sharing an actinic flow with another. Usually at the time a creative activity occurs. When Vum Sim Sim is present, Sa Vum Sim Sim is possible. So if a group is in harmony, Vum Sim Sim, they might take it deeper and come up with some creative ideas. Sa Vum Sim Sim. So that reminded me of a point I use now and then. It's about having meetings. An ego-based approach to a meeting is to bring your best idea, and it is a good meeting if everyone accepts your idea. Right? That's the purpose of a meeting, is to get my idea accepted. An intuition-based approach to a meeting is for everyone to bring their best idea, and it is a good meeting if the group develops an idea better than any of the ideas they brought. So that's really a creative meeting where the product transcends what everyone had in mind when they started. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.